The Message of the Naked Socialist, based on the book The Naked Socialist by Paul B. Skousen, available on barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com, as well as for the Nook, Kindle, Google Play, and the iPad and iPhone. The appeal of socialism. Socialism is often confused with compassion. This is the biggest mistake most people make about government and economics. They are led to believe that socialism is the perfect cure for society's ills. Socialism, however, is hardly compassion. It is just the opposite. Socialism is nothing more than a modern word for force, government force to change society. Force to make people do whatever the government declares to be the most beneficial. Socialism consolidates force. Socialistic governments use political force to take from the haves and give to the have-nots, with the stated purpose of helping the poor. Such tactics have never reached their goal. History shows that the poverty class always increases as a result of these schemes. And then the producing class suffers because of it. Gradually, the consuming class grows and the producing class shrinks. And economic death, with all of its vices and harm that come with it, overshadows the best of intentions of everyone. People thinking like socialists. Socialism continues for generations until it runs out of other people's money. The more prosperous a nation, when it adopts socialism, the longer it takes for socialism to break down to ruin. Most people don't recognize that the process will blame their economic woes on other factors. They start believing that government is supposed to take care of them instead of taking care of themselves. There ought to be a law because their motto, uttered in desperation when they want some power stronger than themselves to take something they deem unfair. This is called thinking like a socialist, asking for government force to change society. The Seven Pillars of Socialism. For the past 6,000 years, a handful of bad ideas, 7 of them, has laid waste to all civilizations. Today, we describe those 7 bad ideas using the modern word socialism. Learning to recognize the 7 ideas suddenly reveals that socialism has been around forever, under an assortment of different names, labels, and forms. The 7 pillars of socialism are: 1. An all-powerful ruler, a person or a group. 2. Society that is divided into castes or classes. 3. A constant promise to make things equal, or all things in common. 4. The regulation of all economic and social activity. 5. Sole possession of uncontrollable force to make sure the ruler's ideas are implemented. 6. Control of information so the people are not aware of what is really happening. And 7. No personal or unalienable rights except those declared by the government. The miracle that stopped socialism. The Founding Fathers studied these 7 bad ideas in context. They examined the origins and outcomes of socialism and found that it failed each and every time. It was nothing more than a means to consolidate power into the hands of a few rulers. In the founders' new government of 1787, each of the 7 pillars of socialism was dealt with in such a manner that socialists could never take hold in America. The founders believed that so long as the people retained a basic level of virtue in their own lives and towards others, and stayed knowledgeable about the principles of freedom, and then this precious formula for self-government was guaranteed to work. From that labor, the founders brought forth the Constitution, the finest instrument for peace and prosperity ever born into the earth. It worked so well that in less than 200 years, life expectancy in the United States doubled. The common man was housed and fed in a level known only to kings and queens of old. and the long-dreamt goal of putting a man on the moon came to life just 18 years shy of the Constitution's 200th birthday. The Constitution controlled the people of government so that the people could use their freedom to increase prosperity. America lets go of freedom. When Neil Armstrong took the first steps on the lunar surface in 1969, change was already well underway in America. American national virtue had long been decaying as the people became more corrupt, as God was driven from their culture and society, and as the debased and natural man rose up to rule with brutal and reckless greed. The American people let slip their highest priority of maintaining their national virtues. Becoming corrupt, the people required more masters to keep order. Surprisingly, the people were happy to take these masters, but not all at once. Wrapping chains on a free people must be done delicately. Americans decided that they wanted government to provide a safety net at every turn, a monthly pension check for retirement, a national health insurance, unemployment checks, Social Security, controls on competing business, disaster cleanup funds, and every other risk in life. This hands-off of responsibility from self to the leaders gave corrupt people the opportunity to take control of America's mighty machine. The nations of the world are today caught under suffocating oppression of socialism. They are sliding farther towards the brink with each passing day. No nation, culture, or civilization has ever survived socialism. History makes it sadly clear that those who adopt socialism inevitably destroy themselves from within. That weakness makes them vulnerable to conquering from without. The answer: only when people reignite self-policing in their lives and return to their roots of basic biblical virtue, the Ten Commandments, the Golden Rule, acknowledgement of God's hand in their lives and responsibilities, and strive towards self-reliance, will leaders of the same caliber rise to lead. Anything less than that will fail, because a corrupt spring will not bring forth pure water. When America wakes up to that critical change in attitude, then and only then may the 7 bad ideas be eradicated once and for all. And the miracle that stops socialism will then have power to work its wonder yet once more and reestablish freedom in the earth.